Do you know what I mean? If you're doing
Absolutely.
business with Pierre Poutine, who you don't know anything about, and you've never met, you just have the name Pierre Poutine, which is obviously fake, and a cell phone number, and you're making however many calls at his direction.
And wouldn't due diligence, wouldn't that also include checking to see if the riding, the changes, like the polling changes, had actually occurred? If somebody calls you and you're a company that does these automated calls and they go, yeah, there's been some polls changed and the addresses are different. It's like, aren't you going to check to see if that's true? I mean, that just seems reasonable.
Well, you know what? When Pierre Poutine tells those people at Rack 9 to go and make all these calls and tell people where to go vote, well, Pierre Poutine must know where people have to vote, right? You'd take, if it's a guy named Pierre Poutine, you'd take his word for it, wouldn't you?
Oh, for sure. That's not a strange name at all.
Yeah, you'd never met him before. You only have a cell phone as contact, and then you make thousands of robocalls telling people where to go vote. Nice.
It's crazy.
So, and here we have it.
Lawyers cost a lot more than posters and stickers. Pat Martin figures he's going to need about $250,000 to defend himself. They're not only suing just Pat Martin, they're also suing the official opposition, the NDP.
Nice.
So let's really hope that they don't succeed in this lawsuit, because that would
put they've already succeeded. They have the NDP on the defensive. Have you heard anything from Pat Martin in the last however long it's been since he's been sued? That guy used to be all over the media, and he's nowhere to be seen. I haven't heard anything from him. This is the first thing I've heard from Pat Martin since he got sued.
Other than this fact that he's got a new defense fund out, which I guess we should quickly mention. The website is www. Do I have to say the www anymore? Do I have to say the www?
You don't have to.
.patmartindefensefund.ca. So that's, and you can donate right there on the site. So those are two people fighting the good fight, Pat Martin and Eve Zengler.
Yeah. So I'm gonna scare up a few bucks for both Pat Martin and for Eve Zengler. And man, does my blood boil when I think that Pat Martin, out of all the people in this country who are on the hook for robocalls and election fraud, not on the hook related to that incident. He's not on the hook for that, but he's the only person that's in any kind of trouble as a result of this whole affair. And it's amazing to me. It's absolutely amazing that this guy who kicks so much ass, has so much integrity, you know what I mean, was so passionately defending democracy. It breaks my heart that this guy's got to play defense now.
Yeah, I know. When it should really probably be the Conservatives and their business associates.
Yeah.
But I mean, that might be asking too much. Yeah.
Elections Canada finally asked for RCMP assistance to locate Pierre Poutine. How long after? Over a year after the election? But the trail had already gone dead on Pierre Poutine. Yeah.
No more information on the store-bought credit card or the burner cell phone, and he walks away, apparently, clean.
Yeah. No? Yeah. Anyway, no, I can't even speak about this. I'm so mad about it, and I don't know. I really hope to see Pat Martin back as his old fire and brimstone self, kicking ass on the scene pretty soon. Hopefully this fall. We'll see. We'll see in this fall's sitting if he kicks ass. You know what I mean? I really hope that Thomas Mulcair puts him in a position of star power. I mean, use this guy. He kicks ass, you know.
If only he would have just reserved his comments for the House of Commons instead of on Power and Politics and the news conference, and then of course the NDP published his statements on their webpage, which I mean I guess goes to show that they felt fairly sincere about what they were saying. You don't just throw these kind of accusations around without having a large amount of concern about what was happening, and you know.
Yeah. So. Well, I don't know what to say. I mean, the thing is, you get parties like the Liberals and Conservatives. Those parties are full of lawyers. You know what I mean? Half the people that run for those guys are lawyers. You know what I mean? But the NDP, you know, Pat Martin's a freaking carpenter. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that a carpenter is not.
Not carpenter.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that he's less likely. Let's put it this way: in his post-secondary education, he did not learn about this kind of activity. You know what I mean? Everybody that sits in Parliament should know that you can say whatever the hell you want in Parliament and not get sued. But as soon as you step outside of that, you can get sued, right? That's why people, yeah. But I'm just saying, it is a difference between a party full of lawyers and a party full of working class people.
Yeah, a party full of people in general, just varying backgrounds.
Yeah.
Poor Thomas Mulcair, I'm sure he must love Pat Martin in a lot of ways, but there's probably some frustration there too, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I want, as a leader, I want to see Thomas Mulcair.
I just did the Paul Martin thing too. That was my fault.
Was it you that made me do that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, I want to see Thomas Mulcair play offense. I don't like to see those guys on the defense. They shouldn't be, man.
No,
the Conservatives are so brilliant at putting people on their heels and making them play defense. My God, they're brilliant at it. I mean, you got to give the devil his due. They know how to attack. They know how to move forward. They know how to be aggressive. They know how to keep their opponents on their heels.
They're a machine, and they never stop. I mean, this is what we're dealing with, and this is why we need all sorts of people across Canada to stand up and lose their complacency and find whatever it is that's going to drive you to get out there and put some energy into defeating this Conservative majority government.
Yeah.
We all gotta find our reason. There's a hell of a lot of them.
Yep.
Pick one.
And this week we have shined the spotlight on two people fighting the good fight. Absolutely. Pat Martin and Eve Engler. So scare up a few bucks, people. Go give them some cash. And on that note, I'd like to go to a track, Mike. Is that cool?
That sounds good.
This is Santigold with This Isn't Our Parade off her new album.
Saw you standing
That was This Isn't Our Parade by Santigold. Mike, I played that because two of my dear friends from Lively, Ontario, Ryan and Vincenzo Canton, I thought they probably might like that one.
Nice.
Yeah.
It was a good tune.
Yeah, man. You know what? We forgot to mention this at the beginning of the show, but I did an interview with Ellen Russell a few days back.
Yeah, she was she had an article on Rabble.ca that we found both quite interesting, and you were lucky enough to get to talk to her.
Yeah, Ellen Russell is professor of economics and journalism at Wilfred Laurier University, and she's a regular contributor to Rabble.ca. She's also a research associate at the Canadian Centre for Policy Alternatives. She wrote an article on Rabble.ca that really caught, you know, like you said, caught both of our attention, called "Canada's Superiority Complex. Are our banks really better? Are our banks really better?" Anyway, I was able to talk to her, and do you want to just go right into the interview?
Yeah, sure.
And we'll come back and talk about it afterwards. Here we go. This is Ellen Russell and I talking. Hi, Ellen. Thanks for joining us on Election Fallout here on OppositionRadio.com. How are you doing today?
I'm great, thanks.
Is Frosh Week kicking off pretty good at Laurier?
Yeah, we're heating up.
Okay, good. It appears from your work that you really enjoy taking the principles of economics and translating them into a form that is both palatable and understandable to the layperson. Could the mainstream media take a cue from you on this, do you suppose?
Yeah, I think it's really important that people feel comfortable with economics. It makes such a huge impact in our lives, and if we just kind of nod and smile while the mainstream media, says these things that don't really make sense to us, that's really not good enough.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems to me like people can identify with and better understand issues such as environmental ones. Everyone knows the difference between a dirty lake and a clean one, and it's easy to respond to such a thing emotionally, right? Not everyone understands the difference between a market that's been corrupted and one that hasn't, or the importance of the integrity of our medium of exchange.
Yeah, it can be a little hard on an intuitive level to understand some of these things, but we all kind of know when we look around and see that things just don't seem right in the economy. We see that people are struggling while others seem to be getting every advantage, and we see that things don't seem like they're heading in the right direction. So that's why I think it's important to understand economics, to understand why things aren't heading in the right direction.
Right. I really enjoyed your column at Rabble.ca. When you say that this self-congratulatory myth of Canadian exceptionalism is an act of willful denial, you're referring to the Canadian banking system, correct?
Yes, I'm referring to, the endless mantra we hear about how great our banking system is and how well it did during the financial crisis, as though really there aren't any issues that we need to be concerned about our banks. I just don't agree with that.
Yeah. Do you see any ways that our banks are better or safer than their counterparts in the U.S. or Europe?
Well, the usual way that question is answered is to look back in history. Uh-huh. And, I agree with the fact that some of the worst excesses that happened in the United States and in Europe didn't happen in Canada.